Folks, welcome to an all-new episode of So Bad It's Good. This is your pal Ryan, and this is your Wednesday episode. You have officially made it halfway through the week. You are so close. 2 more days until that sweet, sweet weekend. So hopefully we can provide you with a couple hours of content to get you through this Wednesday. But are you doing good? Are you okay? Okay, good. I'm okay too. I've had a very busy work day. I also worked out with my trainer, and I felt strong at my workout. Usually I feel very weak and I get dizzy, but I felt strong, and that was very exciting. I've moved up from 5 pound to 10 pound weights. No, I'm doing kettlebells. I'm doing real Schwarzenegger stuff. No, very exciting. Just sharing a little bit about me. We've had a great week of shows so far. We did our Love Island USA final recap on Tuesday. Monday, we, of course, had Sophie Ross. Now, today, we have a writer, a journalist that I've been wanting to talk to for years now. Her name is Taylor Crumpton. And I just love, I love when somebody is able to put into words, especially the written word, how I feel about reality television, or makes me learn a little bit more about these shows that we cover. I think that is such an important job. And also, I've always said this to you guys. I always like when people that I consider having very big brains talk about it in such a manner that it earns respect from the outside world. Because we know we love it, right? Like we're all in. But I love that people are out there that are writing for big publications like Time Magazine that potentially will show people, even though we don't need to prove anything to anybody, that these shows are worthy of discussion. There is nothing to be embarrassed about, ashamed about. Well, I mean, listen, I who wants to marry a millionaire? That could have been a shame. Who knows? But I want to be proud of these things that we cover. So we have this amazing conversation. It's a very long conversation, but I have to tell you, doing the conversation felt like 30 minutes, even though it is like an hour and a half. But I think it is just, it's great. So she wrote this article about the toxic fandom around Love Island USA. Now, even if you didn't watch Love Island USA, even if that is not your cup of tea, I would strongly urge you to still listen to this conversation, because I think it encompasses, it's great when you find out you have a problem with a word in real time. Encompasses. You know what? Maybe we'll just not do a Wednesday episode. Anyways, what it brings to light how so many other shows are handled as well, and how the fandom goes for other shows. And by the way, we do kind of talk about The Valley in this. We talk a little bit about the OC towards the end. We dip in and out of other reality shows. Even talking about the first season of The Real World on MTV, which is the first reality show that I fell in love with as a kid. And I think a lot of you might feel the same way. But there are intense parts of this conversation, because we talk about SA at a time. We talk about race. We talk about these things that sometimes people feel uncomfortable with. And I am so lucky where I don't feel uncomfortable. I really, truly love learning. And I love when I can actually learn something from a reality show. And I know that might be scoffed at, but I think at its best, these things can open our eyes to things that are happening in the world. And yes, Aviva Drescher can also throw her fake leg on an episode of Real Housewives of New York. It can do both. But I really, truly love this conversation, and I hope Taylor will come back. And please go support her. She has 2 books in the works right now, and one is about Beyonce. So already I'm completely in love. Now, you can skip to that right now. There is a timestamp for that. But before that, I want to talk about the Emmy nominations that came out this morning. Huge fan of television. That's why we're all here. But the nominations were announced. Now, the Emmys will not be airing until September on CBS. But the nominations came out today, and I think there was a couple of surprises in here. And we'll go over some of the main categories, some of my disappointments, and some of the things that make me really, really happy. Severance was the most nominated show this year. And I, as you know, I still regret every day that I did not just do a separate Severance podcast to talk about that show, because I was obsessed. And I'm so sad that it's probably going to take years to have season 3 of that show. Every time Ben Stiller signs on for a new project, I'm just like, that is time that it should be spent working on Severance. I'm very upset about it. So let's dive into this list. But also, I just wanted to start off. I try to say thank you as much as I can during the week, but I wanted to say thank you. Tomorrow or today, when you're listening to this, I get to do 3 back-to-back interviews that are all just amazing people that I want to talk to in terms of these shows that we cover. And I could not do any of this without you. I've always said this is a small but mighty operation. We are the little engine that could. And I owe that all to you. Period. Point blank. I am never confused about that fact. But just as somebody that has loved this stuff for so long, the fact that I get to talk with these people and try to get better at interviewing, and I couldn't be more thrilled in that aspect of my life. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, enough of that hokey BS. Let's get on to these Emmy nominations. The nominations came out today, but the show itself will be airing on September 14th, airing live on CBS and Paramount Plus. It will be hosted by stand-up comedian Nate Bargatze, which I think is a very interesting choice. It's very middle of the road. His stand-up is very, very funny. I've seen him host Saturday Night Live 2 times now. I've never gotten to see his full stand-up act, but this is... I was a little surprised by the host, and hopefully he knocks it out of the park. Here are the nominations by program. So we just said Severance had the most nominations this year. They have 27 nominations in all of the categories, including technical categories. The second most nominated was HBO Max's The Penguin. Now, The Penguin is in that DC universe. The Penguin is a Batman villain. But Colin Farrell's performance, which started in Robert Pattinson's The Batman, which came out 3 years ago, and good news, Matt Reeves, the director and writer of that, just finished the script finally for Batman 2, and James Gunn, who directed this weekend's Superman, is the head of that DC Studios at Warner Brothers, says if he loves this script, he will greenlight it immediately, and they will start shooting as quickly as possible. But The Penguin takes place in Gotham. And I think a lot of people that don't like superheroes might be turned off by that fact. But let me let you know that Batman is not in this. There is a reference or two, I believe, here or there. But man, this is like The Sopranos on steroids. It is so good. Christine Milioti, who is the female lead, and Colin Farrell just disappears into this character. I loved this show so much, and it's one of those shows that I can't wait to forget about it so I can watch it again someday. Now, the third most nominated program was Apple TV Plus's The Studio, led by Seth Rogen, who also wrote and directed some of the episodes. I love that series as well. It's a little inside baseball if you've watched it in terms of, I think the comedy works on its own, but it is to do with the movie industry. So if you are a fan of the movie industry like myself, man, it's so fun because there's so many inside jokes, but at the same time, it's still a comedy show that I think anybody would find very, very funny. The White Lotus was fourth. HBO Max's The White Lotus got 23 nominations. The Last of Us, also with HBO Max, got 16 nominations. Disney Plus got Andor, a great show. I'm halfway through the first season, even though they've ended the second season. Trying to work my way through that. That has 14 nominations. HBO Max's Hacks got 14 nominations. Netflix's Adolescence, which I believe only had 4 episodes, 13 nominations. The Bear, the funniest show on FX, got 13 nominations. The Pit on HBO Max, 13 nominations. That is so great for The Pit, which is a stellar show. A procedural like ER, but cranks it to another level, a very 2025 level. And it's so great to see Noah Wyle, who started on ER as this young kid, and now you get to see a grizzled doctor, and it's this nice bookmark of like medical procedurals. But I think The Pit turns it on its ear a little bit. So that got 13 nominations, and that's great because you want more people to watch these amazing shows. And I think with anything, do you notice everything that I've read thus far is not on one of the 4 main networks? ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. Isn't that wild? Isn't that scary? It also shows you that network television, this is definitely not the final nail in its coffin, but my God, this is a clarion call that streaming is completely where it's at. I mean, just artistically where it is at. Now, finally, we get our first network. We have SNL 50, the anniversary special, got 12 nominations. So finally, the first thing that has a network involved, NBC. That's where 12 for SNL 50. Then 11 nominations for Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story on Netflix. 10 nominations for Netflix's Black Mirror, 9 nominations for Dying for Sex on FX, which we had Nikki Boyer, one of the producers and creators of Dying for Sex. She was on the podcast, I think, in December. The Daily Show got 8 nominations, and that's Comedy Central. RuPaul's Drag Race got 8 nominations. Hulu's Only Murders in the Building, 7 nominations. SNL Proper, 7 nominations. Apple TV Plus's Shrinking got 7 nominations. Abbott Elementary, Quinta Brunson's Child got 6 nominations, and that is on ABC. CBS's The Amazing Race got 6 nominations. HBO Max's House of the Dragon got 6. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, 6. The Oscars telecast got 6 nominations. Righteous Gemstones on HBO Max, 6. SNL 50, The Homecoming Concert, got 6 nominations. FX's final season of What We Do in the Shadows, 6 nominations. Netflix's Bridgerton, 5 nominations. Love on the Spectrum, 5 nominations. Love Netflix's Love on the Spectrum. And I was just thinking about this 2-part docuseries last night. And I know we're 6 months into the year, but I have to tell you, in my top 5 things of this year in terms of TV and film, Pee-wee as Himself, the story of Paul Reubens on HBO Max, got 5 nominations. Pee-wee as Himself. It truly has been, that was one of my favorite viewing experiences of the year. Apple TV Plus's Slow Horses with Gary Oldman got 5 nominations. Peacock's The Traitors, 5 nominations. NBC's The Voice, 5 nominations. Will and Harper, 5 nominations. That was a great documentary that was on Netflix with Will Ferrell. I love that documentary, and I thought that deserved more attention, but 5 nominations, and hopefully it will get its due here. So HBO or HBO Max or whatever we're calling HBO this week, in total got 142 nominations. Netflix 120, Apple 79, ABC 37, FX 35. I mean, this goes all the way down to the Food Network, which just got one. MTV got 10, Comedy Central 10, Prime Video 12, Peacock got 19, Hulu 23, CBS 26. I know this might not mean a lot to you, but I truly geek out at these numbers because I think these numbers tell us a story. Now, outstanding drama series, these are who the Emmy voters are going to be choosing between. Andor, The Diplomat on Netflix with Kerry Russell, The Last of Us on HBO, Paradise on Hulu, which they are close to finishing the 2nd season of Paradise right now. The Pitt, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus, all for outstanding drama series. My God, that is a stacked category. What I want to win and what I think should win is Severance. What I think will be a dark horse is The Pitt. A darker horse than that, White Lotus. That's how So Bad It's Good is calling it. Outstanding comedy series, we have Abbott Elementary, The Bear, such a funny show. Hacks on HBO, Nobody Wants This on Netflix. I love that show. They are finished filming the 2nd season of that, and I believe it premieres, if I'm not mistaken, in September. Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking on Apple TV Plus, The Studio on Apple TV Plus, and What We Do in the Shadows. Now, The Bear has been Our friends at Quince makes the shopping experience so easy. All you have to do is go to quince.com. In fact, I just did it right now, and you're immediately hit with everything you need. New arrivals, bestsellers, women, men, home, baby and kids, travel, lookbooks, corporate gifting. They have it all, and they make it so easy. Now, elevating my style used to mean breaking the bank, but with Quince, I get high-end, versatile pieces at prices I can actually afford. Now I can upgrade my style by snagging killer luxury items that sync with my vibe and my wallet, and it will for yours too. Quince has all the must-haves, like Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and comfortable pants for every occasion. The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They do this by partnering directly with top factories. Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passing the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices along with premium fabrics and finishes. How do you not love that? Now, you guys know by now I have the Quince blue beautiful button-up shirt. I have the blue sports jacket. Are you sensing a theme here? But I also have the cashmere socks. I've also bought gifts for my sister from Quince. They truly do have it all. You can trust them completely. So, indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/sobad for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/sobad to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sobad. Really taking this the last couple of years, which is maybe not last year, it was last year Hacks, but it took it for its first 2 seasons. And The Bear is a phenomenal television show, but I think you would be hard pressed to find anybody that considers that a comedy. To me, Hacks is a comedy, even though there is dramatic elements to it. Now, who do I think should win this? Ooh, it's tough. I might go with Hacks, and in second, I would go with the studio. But I think, you also have to realize this is a numbers game, and you're going to see after these nominations, if you live in Los Angeles, you'll see it a lot more, but a lot of money will be put into these campaigns to win. Now, the final awards voting will be, I believe, mid-August. And so I think Apple TV Plus has very big pockets, deep pockets. So I think they're going to put a lot of money into promoting the studio. So they could pull off some sort of upset. Who knows? Now, it's outstanding limited or anthology series. We have Adolescence on Netflix, Black Mirror on Netflix, Dying for Sex FX, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, The Penguin. That's a stacked category as well. I would love The Penguin to win, and it's not. What I think will win is Adolescence. I would also love Black Mirror. All of these shows are great. I would throw Monsters out, even though I thought it was, I hate to say enjoying a watch when it's about murdering parents, but I thought it was very well done, but I do not think that has a chance in hell of winning. Unless Ryan Murphy's listening, and then I think it has a good chance. I love you, Ryan Murphy. Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series. We have Uzo Aduba from The Residents on Netflix, which unfortunately they are not picking up for a second season. They just announced that last week. Nobody Wants This, Kristen Bell. Abbott Elementary, Quinta Brunson. The Bear, Ayo Edebiri. And Hacks, Gene Smart. I believe Gene Smart got this last year, or maybe it was Quinta. Sorry, my memory is failing me, and it's late at night. I would love Ayo to get this. In the 5th season, I think Ayo, to me, the 4th season that just premiered, I thought she did such astounding work. I thought she was phenomenal. Now, this, I think, is nominated for the 3rd season, so maybe that would take her out. So I would go Quinta or Gene Smart. Gene Smart has won this before. I don't know. That's up in the air. Outstanding lead actor in a comedy series. Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This. That's huge for Adam Brody. Seth Rogen for The Studio. Jason Segel for Shrinking. Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. And Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Jeremy Allen White has won this before. Martin Short, he did win the SAG Award last year. And so you also have to take in the account of the breadth of their career. And Martin Short is a legend, but Seth Rogen and Jason Segel, amazing careers as well. So I'm not going to even give you my pick on that one. Outstanding supporting actress in a comedy series. We have Liza Colon-Zayas as Tina in The Bear. Also, by the way, I think this is for the 3rd season. Her work in her episode on the 3rd season was my favorite episode, which, by the way, that episode was directed by Ayo Edebiri. Hannah Einbender for Hacks, Catherine Hahn for The Studio, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Catherine O'Hara for The Studio, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, and Jessica Williams as Shrinking. You know what? I'm going to go with Liza for The Bear on that one, because I think that was phenomenal work last season. Outstanding supporting actor in a comedy series. Ike Barinholtz for The Studio, Coleman Domingo for The Four Seasons on Netflix, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Jeff Hiller as Joel on Somebody Somewhere. That's huge because HBO did not pick that up for another season, and that is a phenomenal show, and they were really hoping for some Emmy noms, so I'm so happy. And also Jeff Hiller has a memoir that he just put out that is on my reading list. Ebon Moss-Bacharach for The Bear. And he's actually plays the Thing in the new Fantastic Four film that's coming out in a couple weeks. Michael Urie for Shrinking. Michael Urie was on our podcast a couple months ago talking about Still Ugly, the podcast about Ugly Betty that he co-hosts. Michael Urie, congratulations. And Bowen Yang as various characters for Saturday Night Live. Bowen Yang, man, people love Bowen. He is an Emmy-nominated actor now. Amazing. Outstanding lead actress in a drama series, Kathy Bates for Matlock. Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters on Apple TV, Britt Lower for Severance, Bella Russell for The Diplomat. I think Kathy Bates will get this. Unfortunately, I have not watched Matlock, but she is a legendary actress, so sometimes that, people go for that. I would love to see Britt Lower win this for Severance, though. Outstanding lead actor in a drama series, Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, Adam Scott for Severance, Noah Wyle for The Pit. I want Adam Scott to win. I think there's a good chance Noah Wyle might win. And Pedro Pascal, he's a flippin' movie star. My God. Outstanding supporting actress in a drama series, Patricia Arquette for Severance, Carrie Coon for The White Lotus, Catherine Lanassa for The Pit, Julianne Nicholson for Paradise, Parker Posey for The White Lotus, Natasha Rothwell for The White Lotus, and Amy Lee Wood for The White Lotus. That is a lot of White Lotuses. And sometimes you worry about that because they can cancel, people will cancel each other out. Like, you split the vote so many ways in that one show. I would love Parker Posey to win this, but I think Carrie Coon did some phenomenal, all of these ladies did phenomenal work. It'd be a hard vote. I don't know what, but this is like with Severance and The White Lotus, you'll see in some of these acting categories, Best Supporting Actor as well, Severance stacks the deck, and it's really hard. You're like, where do you go? This is all phenomenal work. Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, Zach Cherry for Severance, Walton Goggins for The White Lotus, Jason Isaacs for The White Lotus, James Marsden for Paradise, Sam Rockwell for The White Lotus, who was only, I believe, in 2 to 3 of those episodes, Tremel Tillman for Severance, and John Turturro for Severance. I would love Tremel Tillman to take this. I love that man so deeply. But you could go any of these and they would be amazing choices. Outstanding lead actress in a limited or anthology series, Cate Blanchett for Disclaimer for Apple TV, Megan Fahey for Sirens that just got released like a month or so ago, Rashida Jones for Black Mirror. She did one of the episodes this season and it was a brutal episode. Kristen Milotti for The Penguin, Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex. I would love Kristen Milotti to take this, but who knows? That's a stacked deck as well. Outstanding lead actor in a limited or anthology series, Colin Farrell for The Penguin, Stephen Graham for Adolescence, Jake Gyllenhaal for Presumed Innocent, Brian Tyree Henry for Dope Thief, and Cooper Koch for Monsters. I want Colin Farrell to take this, and I believe he won the Golden Globe for this in January. The Penguin now, by the time the Emmys air, The Penguin will have been out for, I think, over a year at this point. So that's hard. Adolescence, I think Stephen Graham, that's going to be a real competition. Jake Gyllenhaal's in this for Presumed Innocent as well. This is another one, but I would love to see Colin Farrell take this. Outstanding supporting actress in a limited or anthology series or movie, Erin Doherty for Adolescence, Ruth Negga for Presumed Innocent, Deidre O'Connell for The Penguin, Chloe Sevigny for Monsters, Jenny Slate for Dying for Sex, and Christine Tremarco for Adolescence. I don't even know. I'll have to study the pamphlets. Outstanding talk series, The Daily Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Only 3 nominations in that. Outstanding reality competition program, you have The Amazing Race, which has won multiple Emmys in this category. RuPaul's Drag Race, which has won as well. Survivor, Top Chef, and The Traitors. The Traitors! I want to see The Traitors take this just because you know Tom Sandoval is going to find a way to make it on that Emmy stage. Outstanding scripted variety series, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Saturday Night Live. Now, this usually has been going to Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but it was Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, so I have a feeling it'll go that way. Outstanding directing for a comedy series, Ayo Edebri for The Bear, for that episode Napkins I was talking about. Seth Rogen for The Studio, Nathan Fielder for The Rehearsal. Now, The Rehearsal only got 2 nominations for writing and for directing for Nathan Fielder. Now, I do not think there is a chance in hell that Nathan Fielder will win this, but my God, I wish there had been more nominations for The Rehearsal. I thought that show was brilliant, and I am looking for places like the Emmys, which will get this show more attention so it can get a 3rd season on HBO Max. But this is another stacked category. And that, I mean, there's so many other categories, you guys, but these are a lot of the big ones out there. There's Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series and a Drama Series. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And this is great. Outstanding Unstructured Reality Program. The nominees are America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, which the 2nd season just premiered on Netflix a couple weeks ago. Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. RuPaul's Drag Race, Untucked for MTV. Welcome to Wrexham for FX. And The Secret Lives of Flippin' Mormon Wives on Hulu got nominated for an Emmy, Outstanding Unstructured Reality Programming. So, will Mom Talk survive this? We are going to have to find out. The other unique thing, and I believe this is the first year that they are doing this, and it is about damn time that they are honoring casting directors, the people that have casted these amazing shows, and it is about time. And I'm so excited that casting directors are finally getting their dues according to the Emmys. So that will be included in the Emmys as well. Okay, so that is our little Emmys recap. I'm sure we'll be having guests on to talk about these Emmy nominations at some point as we lead up to the ceremony, but I wanted to talk about that because I was excited. So now let's get to a very amazing conversation that I had with the one and only Taylor Crumpton. Go follow her, go support. I'm going to put a link for that Time magazine article that we're talking about today, and I really hope you enjoyed this interview. Have a great Wednesday. Meet us back here on Thursday for a Valley recap. We're doing a lot of long episodes this week, so I hope you enjoy them. Here she is, Taylor Crumpton.